For a long time, gamers always had to compromise when it came to monitors. Low latency versus picture quality, IPS versus TN, 1440p versus 1080p, 144Hz versus 60Hz, but finally, Acer has come out with the perfect monitor. Almost. As a wise man once told me, stacks on deck, Patron on ice. We can pop bottles all night. Baby, you can have whatever you like.
You can have whatever you like if you like.
I liked mine better.
Yeah.
The general consensus is that you need a 144Hz refresh rate monitor for the best gaming experience. Up until last year, you could only get this in a 1080p TN panel, but last year, with the release of the Asus ROG Swift, we saw this standard increase to 1440p, albeit still using a TN panel. Finally, Acer has stepped it up and released the first 144Hz IPS display. Meet the Acer Predator XB270HU. It's a 27-inch, 2560 by 1440 IPS monitor with a refresh rate of 144Hz and NVIDIA's G-Sync variable refresh rate technology. The display has a 4 millisecond response time, and because it's an IPS panel, you have a wide viewing angle without distorted colors. It's mounted on a 3-way stand that lets you adjust height, tilt, and rotation, but it's removable as well if you want to use your own VESA mount. At the bottom of the stand, you find this kinda tacky looking red ring that Anthony's not really a fan of, and I don't really like either because I hate color. On the left side, you'll find 2 USB 3 ports. You can enable one to always be on so you can charge something like your phone even while the monitor is off. Looking underneath, the Predator is quite barebone when it comes to inputs, just one full-size DisplayPort. It makes sense since customers who buy this type of monitor are going to have a high-end video card. Plus, G-Sync only works with DisplayPort anyways. However, it would have been nice to see DVI or HDMI as a backup, because you might not always have DisplayPort available. If you want to bring this to a LAN tournament or to your friend's house, for example, then you could run into some problems. The front of the display has a nice thin bezel surrounding the screen. However, while the screen itself has a matte finish, the bezel is glossy, unfortunately. It's also glossy on the inside edge, and sticks out far enough that you will actually get reflections on it from your display. It's not the end of the world, but make sure to try it out first if you think you're the type of person that would be bothered by something like that. The controls are easy to differentiate and press with a power LED that's not blindingly bright. Press any one of those front-facing buttons to bring up the on-screen display, which lets you quickly adjust things like ultra-low motion blur, brightness, contrast, overdrive, and color profiles. The ultra-low motion blur feature is effective, but keep in mind it will only work at 85Hz and 100Hz. To achieve effective backlight strobing at 144Hz, you ideally need a response time of 1 millisecond. The overdrive feature allows the panel to achieve lower levels of response time, but it does introduce some color ghosting. Since IPS panels inherently have higher response times, we'd recommend keeping it on normal for the best quality. If you're interested in more detail, you can click here to read TFT Central's very detailed report. G-Sync on this monitor works in its usual range of 30Hz to 144Hz, and we didn't have any issues there either. There was no noticeable ghosting or tearing in games, even when our FPS fluctuated wildly. The menu system is pretty easy to use as far as menus go. We generally prefer to keep everything at default and use a hardware calibrator such as our Spider 4 Extreme. After running through our calibration, the monitor has 100% sRGB accurate color representation. But enough specifications, what is it actually like to use this monitor? Well, to test that, Anthony brought it home and used it to do normal things: games, movies, TV shows, browsing Reddit, and editing photos and videos. I think we can safely say that if you're looking for a high-end monitor, then get this one. We played CSGO, Battlefield Hardline, and GTA 5 PC on it with perfect results. It's every bit as good as the faster 1 millisecond TN gaming monitors when it comes to motion blur and input lag. But as good as TN panels have become, nothing beats an IPS panel when it comes to vibrant colors and detailed shadows that aren't washed out. But it's not all sunshine and lollipops. The model we received has a fair bit of backlight bleed on the 2 bottom corners. You can mask it a bit by adjusting your brightness, but it'll still be there in dark scenes. Keep in mind that our review unit has been shipped all across North America, so it has experienced some wear and tear more so than brand new retail ones. But the most important aspect of this monitor, the impact it has had on the market. Acer brought an absolute powerhouse of a monitor that checks off every feature enthusiasts want in a display. While other companies are only focusing on 1 or 2 features at a time, the Predator actually does it all. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let us know in the comments below. Will this be your next monitor? Or would you rather wait for an ultra-wide or 4K high refresh rate monitor instead? Thanks for watching. Like or dislike the video, whatever floats your boat, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this from NCIX.